Welcome. The Passive Sampling Technology Update team is proud to present an overview of the HydraSleeve passive sampler technology. This quick video will provide a high-level overview of the device as well as instructions on how to use, deploy, and retrieve the device. For more information on this and other passive sampling technologies, please visit the Passive Sampling Technology Update Guidance document. The HydraSleeve sampler is a passive grab sampler. HydraSleeves are most commonly used for groundwater sampling in screen monitoring wells or boreholes in bedrock. They can also be used for sampling rivers, lakes, tailing ponds, and other surface water applications where they have been used successfully with drones for remote sample collection. The HydraSleeve collects a sample by grabbing and isolating a core of any aqueous medium from an interval under ambient conditions. The HydraSleeve captures everything that is dissolved or suspended in the sample interval without inducing flow in the medium. The resulting sample represents a discrete interval at a specific moment in time. HydraSleeve-acquired samples are discharged into laboratory bottles and analyzed using standard lab methods.
The HydraSleeve grabs everything that is dissolved or suspended in the water at the sample interval, including organics, metals, anions and cations, explosives, pesticides, PFAS, turbidity and suspended solids, pH and alkalinity, physical parameters.
HydraSleeves are made using a thin wall, flexible polyethylene tube that is sealed on the bottom, with an open top which holds a reed valve. When the sampler is pulled upward, it opens into a tubular shape as the valve and sampler body sleeve around water in the column until full.
HydraSleeves are installed empty and flat into any aqueous medium, causing minimal displacement. The surrounding hydrostatic pressure keeps the sleeve pressed shut and empty until activated. The HydraSleeve is positioned to a depth immediately below the intended sample interval, and it is left in place for at least as long as it takes the water in the sample interval to return to ambient conditions. To obtain a sample, the HydraSleeve is pulled upward rapidly through the sample interval. As the sleeve is pulled upward, the sides of the HydraSleeve encase around a core of stationary water in the column until the sampler is full. The HydraSleeve is grabbing the water medium and everything in it. When the sleeve is full, the hydrostatic pressure inside the sleeve collapses the valve shut, preventing intrusion from outside the interval. When properly used, the length of the sample interval is approximately the length of the HydraSleeve or slightly longer.
There are 3 versions of the HydraSleeve. All 3 are made of LDP and have the same sleeve and valve design. The Super Sleeve can also be made from HDP for PFAS sampling. Each version has unique features that make them suitable for different uses. The differences are most notable at the top of the samplers, which determines the way each sampler is connected to the suspension tether and how it fills. The standard HydraSleeve connects to the tether with a spring clip, comes in 2 lengths for 2-inch wells, and is available in a larger diameter for 4-inch and larger wells. HydraSleeves for 2-inch wells provide standard sample volumes of 650 milliliters or 1 liter. The 4-inch HydraSleeves hold 3 liters of sample. The HydraSleeve speed bag connects to the tether with a spring clip. A flush port at the top enables a speed bag to acquire a sample immediately after the speed bag is installed for one-time sampling or rapid site assessment. Speed bags come in 2 sizes for 2-inch wells. Sample volumes are 500 milliliters and 900 milliliters per speed bag. The HydraSleeve Super Sleeve is available in LDP for general contaminants and in HDP for PFAS sampling. Super Sleeves utilize reusable top collar assemblies that helps them capture the most water from each foot of saturated screen. They fit in 2-inch Schedule 80 or 50 millimeter wells and larger, and are made in 3 standard lengths that provide sample volumes of 1 liter, 1.5 liters, or 2 liters per sampler. Super Sleeves can be made in custom lengths, and adapters are available for sampling 4-inch wells.
Top weights are available for HydraSleeves and Super Sleeves to compress the top of the sleeve closer to the bottom of the well. This allows sampling in wells with short screens and for sampling to within 1 to 2.5 feet from the well bottom. When properly used, the sample interval above the top of the deployed sleeve is approximately the length of the fully extended sleeve. HydraSleeves are readily transportable and easy to use because they use simple components and accessories. A reusable suspension tether with pre-installed spring clip, suspended from a well cap. A HydraSleeve, selected to best fit the application. If a super sleeve is used, a top collar or weighted top collar is needed. A reusable stainless steel weight, attached to the bottom of the suspension tether to pull the tether assembly into proper position. Zip ties for attaching bottom weights to the tether, and discharge straws for emptying the contents of the HydraSleeve into a lab bottle after sampling.
When it's time to go to the project site, an organized approach will help the project proceed smoothly. Prepare the well site for sampling by laying out clean plastic sheeting, water level meter, cooler with sample bottles, a 5-gallon bucket, and the boxes containing the tether and HydraSleeve equipment. If factory-made suspension tethers were purchased, open the box containing the tethers and match the ID tag on the tether to the well ID. Consult the manufacturer if tethers are to be field-made. A portable tripod may be helpful when working alone, but is not required. Open the boxes containing the HydraSleeve packages, making sure the model number on the package is correct for each well. Remove the HydraSleeve from its package and unroll to the full length. Be sure to save the discharge straw from the package. The bottom of the HydraSleeve has 2 side-by-side holes. Fold the bottom of the sleeve lengthwise so that the 2 holes overlap. Use a zip tie through the holes and through the ring on the weight to secure the weight to the bottom of the sleeve. A reusable bottom weight clip can be used instead of a zip tie.
HydraSleeves and speed bags use spring clips to attach the top of the sampler to the tether. Locate the white stiffening strips at the top of the HydraSleeve and pull them slightly apart. Squeeze the long ends of the white strips together to crimp the top of the HydraSleeve in the open position. Attach the prongs on a spring clip through the holes in the white strips from inside the HydraSleeve. Check to be sure the spring clip is secure. The spring clip is connected to the bottom of the suspension tether so that the HydraSleeve will hang at the depth where the top of the sleeve should be placed, which is at the bottom of the predetermined sample interval.
The super sleeve version of the HydraSleeve does not have the white stiffening strips at the top. Instead, a reusable 2-piece threaded top collar assembly is attached to the top of the super sleeve, above the valve. Unscrew the 2 parts that slide the smaller piece over the top of the sleeve. Make sure the internal threads are pointing toward the top of the sleeve. Slide the tapered end of the larger piece into the top of the sleeve, just past the threads. Screw the smaller piece over the sleeve and inserted end, so the sleeve is trapped between the 2 threaded parts. Finger tighten until the sleeve is gripped between the 2 parts. The top collar is then attached to the tether using a spring clip. Hold the tether and HydraSleeve assembly over the well casing and lower the empty HydraSleeve into the well, weighted bottom first. Continue lowering until the top of the sleeve reaches the bottom of the intended sample interval. Do not pull upward on the tether during the installation. Hold the tether firmly while removing it from the spool to prevent it slipping down the well. Do not pull upward on the tether, or it may capture some water prematurely. Secure the tether to the inside of the well cap and place the cap on the well. If the tether was factory-made, the sampler will be in the proper position when the well cap is fitted on the top of the well. Leave empty HydraSleeves in place until the well returns to ambient conditions, usually 24 to 48 hours. Speed bags can be sampled immediately after installation. All HydraSleeves can be left in the well indefinitely, so they can be installed at one event and recovered at another future event without a second mobilization. When it is time to retrieve the sample, pull the tether rapidly upward for a distance of about 1.5 times the length of the sleeve. The upward pull should be about as fast as a straight arm can move from alongside the leg to over the head. After the fast pull, the rest of the tether can be recovered using standard hand-over-hand or using a reel. The sampler will fill in a distance approximately equal to its length. In some circumstances, other retrieval methods may be recommended according to the manufacturer's SOPs. The HydraSleeve sample should be discharged within 10 minutes of retrieving, using the included discharge straw. HydraSleeve samples are released using a discharge tube that pierces the membrane, much like using a juice box straw. Locate a straw that came within the package with the HydraSleeve. Select a location along the length of the sleeve, downward from the water level in the sampler that roughly corresponds to the volume needed to fill one lab bottle. Pierce the sleeve at that location and direct the flow from the tube into the lab bottle. The HydraSleeve and the straw may be manipulated to control the flow from the tube. Remove the discharge tube and repeat further down the length of the HydraSleeve as needed. In addition to the advantages such as cost savings common to all passive sampling technologies, HydraSleeves have several unique advantages. They are widely used and have a long history for groundwater sampling. HydraSleeves come in sizes that provide the largest sample volume of any passive sampler. They recover an aqueous sample that can be tested by standard-approved lab methods. They can be used with short wait times after installation, or they may be left in place indefinitely before recovering a sample. HydraSleeves can sample for anything in the water, including PFAS. They are suitable for assessment, short-term, and long-term groundwater monitoring. HydraSleeves also have several limitations that should be considered. They can only be used in wells 1.5-inch diameter or larger. They collect an unfiltered sample. The maximum sample volume from a single HydraSleeve in a 2-inch well is 2 liters and requires 10 feet of saturated screen. 1 liter can be collected from a 5-foot saturated screen. NAPL sites present obstacles for all sampling techniques whenever the sampler passes through a floating contaminant layer. Here is a summary of important takeaways about the HydraSleeve sampling technology to consider when planning a passive sampling event. HydraSleeve samplers are commercially available for 1.5-inch diameter wells and larger. They produce an instantaneous or snapshot sample at a point in time. They collect a whole water sample of the medium and everything in it. HydraSleeves do not create or increase turbidity, but they do capture naturally existing background turbidity. Sample volumes are available up to 2 liters per HydraSleeve from a 2-inch well with 10 feet of saturated screen. Super sleeves made of HDP are available for PFAS sampling. Multiple HydraSleeves may be attached to the same tether to vertically profile long saturated screen intervals. HydraSleeves may be deployed for extended periods of months and years. Thank you for participating in this ITRC educational video. For more information about HydraSleeve passive grab samplers and other passive sampling technologies, please visit the online passive sampling guidance document.